Welcome to the Mormon Medium Podcast, where we'll talk about spirituality, the paranormal, religion, and my journey in becoming a Mormon medium. I'm Nannette Ride. Thanks for listening. Now let's go have some fun.
Don't be afraid. Close your eyes. There's a moon overhead, but the sun will rise. Blood on our lips, such a poisonous bite. The sound of our hearts go bump, bump, bump in the night.
Welcome to the Mormon Medium Podcast. I'm Brad, and I'm here with Nannette, the Mormon Medium, and we are excited for yet another date day.
Date day, coffee time. Today we are going to talk about spirit guides. We've had lots of people ask about spirit guides and what they are and what they do for us and how we work with them. So we're going to kind of delve right into that today.
Okay, when you talk about spirit guides, I think there's a lot of things that could pop into people's minds, right? So I think you're going to have to give us a little more definition and clarity on what exactly a spirit guide is.
They're basically a ghost that follows us around.
Well, hell yeah. Okay, well, hell yeah. I guess the stalker ghosts are good things then.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're not like scary, right?
I would hope not. I mean, I guess they could be if they wanted to be. Like if you're like getting a lesson over and over and over and again and you're not listening and they give it to you over and over and over again and you're still not listening.
That's not scary.
Well, maybe
like haunting scary.
Well, maybe at some point they have to like just shake the shit out of you to get your attention.
I'm sure that there are some people that need to have the shit shaken out of them.
Yes, there are.
But really, depending on what your religious belief system is going to be what you call your spirit guide, right? So it might be angels, depending on your belief system. It might be a holy ghost if you're in a Mormon religion, right?
It could be a cricket if you're in the movie Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Always let your conscience be your guide.
Thanks. That's going to be in my head for forever.
It should be. Always let your conscience be your guide.
And I always talk about my Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder because I have a huge conscience. It eats me alive if I choose the wrong.
That's like a Mormon cricket.
It's a Mormon cricket. I need a seagull. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
So for those of you who don't understand that reference, there's a story in Mormon lore that the early pioneers came to Utah and they planted their crops and they had an infestation of giant-ass crickets. They were eating everything, right? And they prayed and they prayed and they prayed and they prayed, and the skies were filled with flocks of seagulls that came down and ate every cricket and saved the crops because the pioneers were faithful in their beliefs that they could be saved.
Yeah, and that story kind of goes along with why we still have seagulls in Utah.
It's a state bird.
It's the state bird. Yeah. Pretty interesting. Interestingly enough, too, the last probably, 10 years, we've had those big, huge locusts that show up. And that I wonder if the Mormon pioneers had that kind of thing. You know how it's like a cycle, like every, I don't know.
Oh, and you hear them in the trees. Is that what you're talking about?
No, remember when they were like walking across like the roads, they were covering the roads like out by Genola and Eureka and
gross.
Places like that.
That's why
they're
I don't
everywhere.
go to Genola and Eureka.
We took our cars out there and it was like, because you could hear them like popping as you're like going over, like millions of them, like everywhere. So I always wondered when I saw them, in real life, I wondered if the pioneers actually had that type of thing happen. I mean, and it has to do with weather. It has to do with, cycles. So I don't know, but there were no seagulls at that point in time out in the middle of the desert with all of them, though.
You didn't need seagulls. You had your car, apparently. You were just running them over.
Well, we kind of didn't have a choice. We were driving and then they were there. So, but yeah, really gross, though.
That's nasty. I don't even know what to say to that.
Did you not see them? Have you not seen like tons of...
No, not like that. That's awful. Like I said, apparently that's why I don't go to Genola and Eureka.
Oh, well, I guess it's because I lived out in the farmlands. So
Yeah,
I saw different things, and then those city boys saw.
that's right. You're definitely a country girl. Can you say yeehaw?
Yeah.
Impressive. I'm gonna put a hat on you. Turn into one of those woo girls. Woo!
Like Tyson was doing on the boat yesterday. Woo! Which has nothing to do with spirit guides. So we'll bring it back to spirit guides now. Brad, stop detouring us.
I don't think so. I think that has everything to do with spirit guides, because I don't think a spirit guide has to necessarily manifest itself by the way that we think it ought to. For them, their spirit guides were manifested through the help that was given when the seagulls came up. So they probably like, yeah, our spirit guides brought all these seagulls. They just called it something different. They called it deity. Yeah, that's the story about the Mormon crickets and why Nan has a Mormon Jiminy cricket.
That's not why.
That's why you have a Mormon Jiminy cricket.
No. No, I think I've had a Jiminy cricket since I was a kid and I saw Pinocchio.
So is a Jiminy cricket one of your spirit guides? When you like try and commune with your spirit guides, do you get a little Jiminy cricket, a little umbrella carrying?
You know what? Maybe when I was a kid, yes, until I learned that a spirit guide was actually real. Yes.
Okay, well, tell me more about that.
Well, everyone has a spirit guide. So you are assigned a spirit guide before you come to this earth, and you guys have a contract. So you know how when you're going through life and you keep getting handed the same issue over and over and over and over, and you're like, what the crap? Like, why does this keep happening to me? It's because it's an issue that you need to learn. And once you learn it, your spirit guide goes, check. Okay, next thing. Because a spirit guide is supposed to help you be successful in this life and be able to learn all the things that your spirit needs to learn and that you have assigned yourself to learn, because we don't get to remember what we want to do and everything that happens before this earth life. So kind of cool. So when things keep happening over and over and over to you, it's kind of like a big, hello, pay attention.
So why don't they intervene?
They can't.
Why?
They're not allowed to intervene.
Why?
It's the laws of the universe. They can't.
But why? If they're there, why can't they help?
They can help if you ask, but you asked if they could intervene. They can't intervene and fix things for you, because then you're not learning the lesson you're supposed to. But you can ask for help and help will come, but you have to ask. You always have to ask. That's why prayer is important.
Well, that's what I mean. They can intervene then, right?
They can't intervene. Intervening is like seeing an issue and being like, oh, I'm going to go in and fix this on my own. They don't get to do that.
So they can't be helicopter moms.
No, they can't. As much as they probably would like to do that, they can't. Because this is all about our agency. It's all about our growth. So once you figure out who your spirit guide is, then you can be like, or your spirit guides, you can have more than one, and they can also rotate. You'll have one that stays with you, but you can rotate in and out depending on what your needs are.
So multiples are a factor there.
They are a factor. Yes, absolutely. So you literally have a team of spirits that are there to help you that you can draw on. And each one of them have strengths. You know, they've experienced different things in their own lifetimes and they have strengths. So you can draw on those strengths, then you can bring them into your life and help bring balance to your life and answers. Pretty powerful thing.
So is there a way to know who your spirit guides are? I mean, I'm just guessing as I look at it, I'm like, okay, probably my ancestors, or, you know, probably someone I was a good friend with maybe in another life. Or is it entirely based on belief systems that you're born with or you're raised with? How does that work? How do you know who your spirit guides are?
Well, Brad, do you know who your spirit guides are?
No.
Have you ever wanted to?
No.
No?
I've never really.
You are Captain Oblivious, though.
I've never really put that much thought into it. Like, I'm like, yeah, I like feel this is right or that is wrong, or I should do this or I shouldn't do that. And I just take it at face value. I've never thought,
But why do
I
you
wonder
listen?
who's telling me that.
But why do you listen?
Well, I think for me, it's a lot to do with I've had experiences, and we've talked about some of them on the show before, where I didn't listen and had to accept the consequences that went with that. So I think I listen as a matter of I've learned, because I'm old now and have a little bit of experience in life.
I love that. So, our belief systems, like I was just talking about, different religious belief systems, can tell us, what our spirit guides are. And they can be called different things in different religions, but it's the same. Just like God is called something different in every religion, but it's the same. God doesn't care what he's called. The spirit guides don't care what they're called.
God can be known by many names.
But think about it. If you know who your spirit guides are, and then you're talking to them and they're giving you information, it's like a conversation. It's like a friend. It's like, it's more real. It's more tangible, other than just, I felt this prompting and I did it, or I felt this intuitive thought and I did it. You can actually go to your spirit guide with actual questions. What do I need to know right now? Show me what I need to know about this. Tell me what I need to do to help this person or this person. And they'll tell you, which is so cool, because then you're having divine guidance throughout your life, and it makes things a lot easier. The road's a lot less bumpy when you're able to do that.
You're going to hate me.
I already do.
Rude. Why would you even say that?
Because you are just constipated right now.
What? No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, here's the thing. We need to back up for just a minute, because I'm stuck on this. God is known by many names. Is God known by many names, or are there many gods? Is it a polytheism issue or a monotheism issue?
I don't know. Google it, Brad.
No, really, I'm
Why are you asking me? Google
throwing
it.
this out there. Well, because you talked about it. Like, God is known by many names, or are there many gods with different names?
People on different continents worship something bigger than them, a source of all creation and all energy. They call it God, or they call it this or that, and it's the same.
Is it the same though, or is it the same idea but different gods? Like think about it. Like in any of the mythologies, you've got multiple gods, right? Zeus, Ares, et cetera, et cetera. So is it one God who does everything, or is it multiple gods working together?
It's one and the same. So you've got the source of creation, so source, right, that we're all connected to, we're all parts of. So we're connected. You and I are one. We're all connected through a great big web of everything. You can call whoever you want God, I guess, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The source doesn't care. It doesn't demand to be worshipped. You can worship whoever you want. It doesn't matter.
So you're saying that your take is that it's one source with multiple names.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to get your take and see what you thought about it. Because I was just throwing out a counterpoint.
Well, you talk to, even in Mormon religion, you talk to people and they'll say, Christ is God, but then Heavenly Father's God, but they're both God. So
or are they just one in thought?
Exactly. So does it matter though? Does it, when it comes right down to it, does it really matter what you call them? It's not going to change who they are and what they do. Knowing them is what's important. Knowing and having a relationship with the other side is what's important, not what you call them.
Okay. Thanks for diverging and backing up for me. I just wanted to get your take on...
What's your take?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much. That's why I'm questioning, just to have this discussion and talk about it. Because, I think that there are a lot of entities out there that are godlike, right? Or could become gods. And I would think that they work together as a team, like the Avengers.
But the whole idea is for all of us to be at this school called Earth and experience all things from all perspectives and live many lifetimes so that we ourselves can become creators and gods. So we are divine in and of ourselves. We are spirit having a human experience.
So what you're saying then is you don't believe it's actually one entity creating everything, that it's multiple.
No.
Yeah, because if we all become gods and creators, then there are multiple gods and creators.
But we're all of one source. We're all part of the same source. We're all connected to one being. And it's not even a being.
Okay, so now you're kind of going into that Abraham Hicks philosophy of, a collective consciousness, right?
But that's what we are.
Okay.
That's definitely what we are.
Okay.
We're all here to learn from different perspectives.
So we're like the Borg in Star Trek, like one collective mind with a single purpose, like a hive mentality.
I don't know that it's a hive mentality because we all have our own individual free agency and we can learn things or not learn things. We can check in or check out whenever we want to. So there are no rules for us. Our spirit is here just to experience everything. And then we'll get to the other side and be like, oh, I did pretty good on that one. I need to go back and learn this, or I utterly failed on that one. And I definitely need to go back and learn this, or you know what? I did really awesome. And I think I'm done. I'm going to be something on this side and I'm going to serve other people. Maybe you're a spirit guide in your next life. It's all about your choice. It's all about love. It's all about service. And that's all this life is supposed to be about, is love and service and learning.
So how do we utilize our spirit guides to get through that?
Oh, spirit guides are so powerful. You could use your spirit guide and ask them anything. You can have them teach you about your heavenly gifts. You can have them teach you anything that you want to know about. They can show you. And the interesting thing is you may not know anything about a subject. Let's talk about, like, if it's about spirituality and you don't know anything about how things work, Spirit will teach you, and then you'll talk to other people who've been taught by Spirit, and it's the same. Like, truth is truth, whether you want to believe it or not. It's truth. So people learn the same things from Spirit. Spirit will never lie to you. And there's a lot of times where when I get to work with Spirit, I kind of don't want to deal with humans because people can be douchebags sometimes. and they're dishonest. And I'm not like that. And I would rather deal with the dead or with people on the other side that don't lie to you, that, are stitched together in love and kindness and truth. And I'm kind of all about that. It's a lot easier to deal with that. So those types of humans than what we have here alive here on our earth.
Do you know it's funny that people feel that they need to be deceitful or that they need to tell lies to make themselves look better or to help themselves feel better, where the truth is so much more freeing? And look, honestly, it's not worth telling the lies because you end up getting caught in them all the time anyway.
It's true.
People who lie all the time like that don't remember the lies they've told. And so then when the truth comes out, they don't remember that they told a lie about it.
But, it's all about a learning process, right? Everybody has to be on their journey. And sometimes you have to learn how important truth can be. And you have to go through that learning process. So no judgment around people that do that. It's just a lot easier to tell the truth than to lie. But hey, if you need to learn that really hard lesson, I think your spirit guide is really happy to teach it to you.
Yeah, I guess they would be. I lose a lot of respect from people, though, when they lie to me.
Yeah. Well, Spirit will never, ever lie to you. Not ever. And I love that. I think it's pretty cool. So, Brad, doesn't it make you curious who your spirit guides are?
No.
Really?
It literally doesn't. I'm like, hey, cool. If they're there, they're there. And that's awesome. They've got a tough job because I can be a stubborn asshole. Props to them. Good job. Thank you. Ancestors, spirit guides, whomever. That's they've got a tough job.
Wow. I admire that because I definitely am not like that. I care about who I interact with and I want to, maybe it's because I'm a control freak in my life. I don't know. I want to do really good things and feel empowered in my life. So I count on knowing who my team is and working with them.
See, and me, most of the time, I'm like, I'm going to trust the process and just flow with it. I don't have to have everything completely planned out to be able to function through, right?
I don't think I have everything planned out. I'm not like that. I just want to know who I'm working with. But you know what? I went a really long time not even knowing my own spirit guides' names. So there's that. I just call them spirit guides. And I could see them. So I was like, cool. So I would just say, hey, spirit guide, do this, or spirit guide, what's this, or whatever. But yeah.
So what's changed?
I learned my spirit guide's name. And it's funny because a couple of days later, after I learned my spirit guide's name.
Now, hold on. You're going a little bit fast here. How did you learn your spirit guide's name?
I was in meditation and I just asked, what's your name?
So when you were in meditation and communing with the spirit guide. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And I always do. Like when I'm in meditation, my spirit guide shows up and I ask my spirit guides to show up. And I just asked my spirit guide, what's your name? Because I can feel my spirit guide. He stands right behind my right shoulder and is really big energy, like really hot, powerful energy, and it goes up above my head. So I know he's a big, powerful energy. And I always knew he was there. And I knew that he was a chief. He wears a headdress. That's all I knew. But I was just said spirit guide, and he was fine with that, which is interesting back to, they don't care what you call them. It's the same. They don't care.
So they were cool with that, but you weren't.
No, I was just curious. Being curious is always a good thing, right? But it took me time. I mean, it's been years that I've just said spirit guide this or spirit guide that. But in my meditation, I found out what his name was. I knew he was a chief, but I found out what his name was. And then I was like, okay, cool. So now I call him by his name, very specific. And then just lately, I've had another spirit guide that has come through. And so I need to find out what her name is and what our story is, why she's with me and what she brings to the table. Because remember, they bring to the table their gifts and their experiences and their wisdom. So it's kind of cool. And, I have angels that are on my team that are assigned to me that I'm very familiar with. And I have ancestors that I work with too, that all bring different things to the table.
So when you say they bring different things to the table, you mean like the skills or knowledge they had in life, or
Yes.
like their personalities, or what do you mean?
All of that. So for example, my main spirit guide is a shaman. And so he's helped me learn a lot of shamanic things. Now, I have a shaman friend here that trained me for several years, who's amazing. But I've learned new things from my spirit guide, who is a Native American shaman and a chief. And so there are just things that I wouldn't know that he has taught me. Or I additionally have an actual doctor that is on my team. And when I'm dealing with clients that are really, really sick, he'll tell me what's wrong with the client and what I need to do. And it's really super cool because that knowledge is not knowledge that I would know.
Well, how does that work with the energy balances you do?
He just tells me, like he'll come onto my right side and he'll talk to me and he'll say, oh no, it's their intestines, it's their stomach. Oh no, their head's hurting because of this and you need to do this, and literally guides me through what I need to do and tells me which kind of balances this person needs and what kinds of things need to happen. And a lot of times, probably 80% of the time, he will tell me before the client even gets here what's going on with the person that's going to be showing up.
Well, and then does their body confirm that to you?
100%. Remember,
because with your energy balances, you're asking that person's body
Yes.
to respond, right?
Yes.
It's not about what your spirit guides are telling you.
Not at all. And here's the thing, like if I'm told anything from my spirit team, I write down on the back of my clients' papers what the messages are and what I'm supposed to check on.
You mean before they get here?
Yeah, before they get
So
here.
you write down before they get here.
Yes,
Okay.
I write everything down and then I meet with the client. So I flip the paper over. I'm not even looking at the information. I meet with the client and then I compare notes and it's always right. So spirit never lies.
Do you share with them
Yes,
the notes? From that?
100%. Yes, I
That's
do.
cool.
It's really, really cool because I love bringing spirit into balances. I mean, it only makes sense. I'm a psychic medium, so why not have that additional healing energy to help? And so I make sure that we do that. And oftentimes there's family members that come in that want to help with the balances and the healing, and the client gets to feel their family, which is really, really special.
That is special. That's cool that you get to help facilitate that.
Yeah.
So, Nan, what you're telling me is spirit guides are real. Ultimately, that's what I'm getting from this conversation.
Ultimately, yes, they are 100% real. And each of us have a spirit guide. So we should find out who they are. You'd be so empowered and super comforted, especially when you feel alone, to know your spirit guide, to be able to talk to them and let them know what's going on or have them teach you things. It's super empowering.
How do I tell the difference between a spirit guide and just something I'm creating in my head? Like, because as a child, I had a very active imagination. I still do. I make up stories.
I know.
I have a very active imagination. So how do I know the difference between something that my spirit guide might be telling me versus something that I am just going, what if this and this and this and then this happened?
Well, a lot of times your intuition will tell you to do things because remember, you're super powerful all by yourself. But your spirit guide will be there to answer questions, okay? So you can ask your spirit guide questions and get answers. Does that make sense?
Kind of like praying.
Well, that's what I said earlier. That's why praying is important. But I mean,
So
you
let
don't
me ask you
always have...
this. Do you pray to a general entity or do you pray to a specific person? So, for example, you said you know the names of your spirit guides. Do you pray to specific spirit guides or do you just have a conversation with them?
My prayers are very different than they used to be. And it depends on who I'm talking to. So if I want to talk to my spirit guide, I'll get quiet in my brain and go to my quiet space. And then I'll call him to me and I'll just say his name and say, I really need to talk to you. And I have some questions. Can you show me this? Or can you tell me this? Or if I need him to show me, for example, if I have a client that's sitting across from me, I've had this happen a couple of times where I'm doing a psychic medium reading and the client, I'm reading their energy and I'm finding out what's going on with the client. And sometimes I have to have my spirit guide ask their spirit guide what's going on and what this person needs. And then they relay the information back to me and then I know. So sometimes it's hard to get information depending on a personality. So if a personality is more shy and guarded and doesn't want people to know things and maybe really super abused or hurt or something like that, it's harder to get through. But the spirit guides can get through and then give information. It's a super cool thing. But your spirit guide, you can he's kind of like a best friend that'll do anything for you type of thing with like no conditions.
Interesting. So they'll help hide the body.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Definitely.
And they keep their mouth shut.
And they
'cause
never tell.
snitches get stitches.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Brad, don't get to know your spirit guide. That could be it's super dangerous.
I don't condone using your spirit guides for murder or any other nefarious actions.
Okay, let's be real though. Your spirit guide's not going to do anything bad. Definitely won't do anything bad, but it's definitely there for your growth. So if there's anything you want to know about, that's the being to ask. But you have a whole entire team. I mean, if you want to ask your grandmother something, you can.
Yeah, and I do.
And have her answer you. So you talk to your grandma, but you don't talk to your spirit guide.
I think she's one of my spirit guides.
Nice.
That would make sense.
Well, you have a whole team, right? I know when I'm feeling like sad and depressed, my grandmother will come to me and she'll pet my hair and I'll get the tingles from the top of my head all the way down. So I always know it's my grandma. She'll show up on my left side and I get the tingles all the way. Pretty cool. But you always know who it is. And if you're not sure, just get quiet for a second and ask because they'll always answer you.
But you have to be able to listen.
You have to match
the
the vibration, right?
Yep. And sometimes the noise of the world just drowns everything out.
Oh, definitely the noise in your head drowns everything out, mostly. A lot of us get in our head and don't listen.
Like the Grinch doing yoga.
Yeah. Or the Brad doing meditation. Yes.
Same.
Same. See, you got the same, right?
Yeah. And basically the Grinch doing yoga.
So if you want to get to know who your spirit guide is, there's guided meditations all over, like YouTube, Insight Timer, like lots of guided meditations to get to know who your spirit guide is. And I strongly recommend getting to know who they are.
Maybe we need to do a couple of guided meditations.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Nan, I want you to sit back.
Okay.
Relax.
No one can take you seriously.
You're walking through a green field with a babbling brook.
A babbling brook?
Yeah, it just babbles. You can just hear the water slowly flowing over the rocks. The sun shines down and warms your shoulders and your back, and you relax, and you decide to lay down in the field of flowers.
Okay, I'm going to go take a nap now. Dude. That voice.
Oh, shit. I was just practicing the guided meditation. That's kind of how they go. Sometimes they're so cheesy. And as you're laying in the field, you look up and you're shocked to see a unicorn with a flowing white mane that sparkles in the shining sun.
You are seriously so gay. Oh my gosh. What do I even do with you? You're zero help on this episode.
Maybe you
say.
just give me a script, and then we can do
No,
our guided
here-
meditations through the script. That way, I'm not just making it up. So you write me down a guided meditation, and we'll talk through it.
If I have to write it, I'm just going to do it. I don't want to write it. I hate writing stuff.
No, you don't. You wrote a book, and I'm being very helpful.
I don't think you are.
I thought this has been great. Guided meditations from the Mormon Medium Podcast. So back to spirit guides. Number one, they are real. Number two, they can absolutely help us through life. Number three, we can get to know them on a personal level. Is there a number four?
There are not 4 things.
That's an inside joke.
So some of your guides, though, they can be like archangels, guardian angels. They can be spirit animals, your ascended masters, like Christ. So Christ can come through and you can ask questions. Yep, you can talk to the big man.
Or Buddha.
Or Buddha.
Or
yeah.
Muhammad.
Departed loved ones also, you can talk to them. So it really ranges from lots of people. I just call them your spirit team. So you can contact anybody you really want to and ask questions.
Well, and you've called it that for a long time. It's been, I just talked to my team. Or go talk to your team. So, yeah, that's been in your vernacular for a while.
It's true. And I think I did that because I called my team to help me because I didn't know who was who. I didn't know who to call forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I learned what my spirit guide's name, my main spirit guide, he's kind of the usher is what I kind of picture him as. So when I go into a psychic medium reading, he's the one that opens my space. He's the one that lets spirits through and has them line through one at a time because I'm very orderly. I don't like to be inundated with information or people. I like to have nice conversations, one at a time. So he's the one that makes sure that happens.
Well, does he also have some responsibilities there for helping protect you? Because,
yes.
If there's a lot of things coming to inundate you, I would hope that he's there as a protector.
Absolutely. Absolutely. About a week ago, I was looking for someone to refer clients to for past life regressions. And I have a friend that did them. I had never experienced it with her. And she's a super, super sweet lady. And she's been at our house a couple of times with her puppy and everything, but I didn't really know how good she was at it. So we traded some work and I did a balance on her and she did a past life regression on me so that I could see if I would feel comfortable referring my clients to her. And it was interesting because as I started to go into the guided meditation with her, I'm like picturing this ball of light in front of me and I'm breathing in and out this beautiful healing light and feeling all the parts of my body and everything. And then all of a sudden my spiritual eyes, because my eyes are closed, looks over towards her energy and I see a dark one standing right there. And I'm like a little startled because it's been a minute since I've seen the dark ones. Usually I don't get bothered by them. And it was standing there. It was really, really big and it was on her right side. And I had to make her stop the guided meditation. And I said, there's a dark one by you. And I'm like, I don't know that I feel safe letting my shields down and going through this past life regression. Because you literally lift your spirit above your body then you travel back in time, and then you land, you know, wherever your spirit wants to land into this life. And you go through, you know, from birth all the way through your life and all the people that are in your life and all those things. She was awesome, by the way, completely amazing. But I had to deal with feeling safe to go forward from there. And I had to figure out how to feel safe. And immediately my main spirit guide went and put himself in between the dark one and me. And the dark one went around my spirit guide's shoulder and was standing there with his arms folded looking at me. And I was like, oh shit, I still don't feel safe. Like, what do I do? And I literally had to put a shield up. So my spirit guide put a shield up around him and me. And so it was just him and me in this bubble, and the dark thing couldn't see through. And then I felt safe to leave. I know that sounds a little out there, but when you're in meditation, there's a lot of things that happen. But I see dark ones, and when I see one, I know it's real. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. So I had to figure out how to feel safe to be able to proceed. And then when my spirit guide took care of it, I was able to proceed in my past life regression, and then able to experience the whole thing. It was really, really, really cool.
So what you're saying is you would recommend her?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I found someone to work with. So if any of the clients want to do past life regressions, I have somebody that's really good.
Cool. That actually sounds interesting. I'd like to go through that.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
That would be really cool. Would you let me listen?
No.
Really?
Of course I would.
I think it would be really cool.
Of course I would.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. And here's the thing about past life regressions. I'm just going to leave this here. You don't have to do them. There are things that you've learned in other lifetimes. There are lessons that you've learned. And that's the key. You've learned them. You've already gone through it. The only reason why you'd want to do it is to be able to bring gifts forward and remember things that you knew how to do in other lifetimes, to feel empowered in this one, or to maybe understand why you're drawn to a certain place. So say you're drawn, for example, to New Orleans. I'm drawn to New Orleans all the time. I don't know why. I don't have family from there. I don't know this. You might want to do a past life regression and see if maybe you lived a life in New Orleans, and then maybe get that answer. But I mean, it's not something you have to do. So let's just be clear. It's not something you have to do. I think it's school. It's definitely a school. It makes you grow here. This is not an easy school.
No, it's not. And some days are tougher than others.
You know, though, if you're looking at it through a spirit having an experience, and all the things that are happening to you are just experiences, you kind of don't have to delve in and be like, this is me and I'm this. It's, no, this is the experience. Let it pass through you, release it, and then keep moving on, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. So go talk to your spirit guides, find out who they are.
That's the bottom line today. Figure out who your spirit guides are. And if you want a guided meditation for past life regression, we've got a person for that.
And we got a balance for that.
Yeah, there's a balance for that. If you got anything else going on, there's a balance for that.
Yeah, we're actually thinking about doing shirts that say there's a balance for that, with the Mormon Medium podcast on the back. If you guys think that would be a cool idea, reach out and let us know.
Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. We really appreciate you. And if you want to help support the show, you can make a donation through the Buy Me a Coffee app. There is a link to that website in the show notes. You can also book a session with Nannette, the Mormon Medium, and you can do psychic medium work, energy balances. What else do you do, Nan?
Shamanic work. So we do clearings and cutting ties and getting rid of negative energy and helping you through your spiritual path.
Oh, and she's also been mentoring students. So if you're someone who has gifts and want to help explore that side, that's something that she's been doing as well.
Yeah. And if you would like a tarot reading, that's also in the Buy Me a Coffee. You can sign up for a monthly subscription and get a tarot reading. So you decide, but thank you for your support, and we love you all so much. Have a great week.
And we'll see you on the other side of the veil.